Is Hungarian really that hard? Welcome to Hungarian is Easy with you. Hello, my name is Csilla. Welcome to Hungarian is Easy with you. Before we start, let me say this clearly. Hungarian is not very easy for everyone. But Hungarian is possible for everyone. And it becomes much easier when you are not trying to figure it out alone. In this podcast, you will hear different voices. An expert, a commentator, sometimes even a skeptical one, because that's how learning a language really feels. Let's begin.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're walking into a bit of a minefield.
A linguistic minefield, for sure.
We're tackling a language that, it makes people in the polyglot community break out in a cold sweat. It's always cited as the absolute final boss for English speakers.
It really is. It's the Mount Everest.
We are talking, of course, about Hungarian. And usually when you open a textbook on Hungarian, the first chapter is basically a warning label. It's telling you to turn back.
Turn back while you still can.
It feels, honestly, it feels like a lie.
You're talking about Hungarian is easy with you.
Hungarian is easy. I mean, what a claim. It feels like clickbait, but for language learning. So my mission today is to figure out, is this just marketing fluff? Or have we actually found a key that unlocks this fortress of a language?
So if you speak English or Spanish, you have almost zero reference points.
I get it. It does sound intimidating. But here's the thing. Hungarian is different. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's all about the right approach. I've seen students break through those barriers when they start with the right mindset and practical strategies. So no, it's not a marketing fluff. It's about teaching real tools and techniques that make Hungarian much easier than people think. Sure, the language is unique, but with the right guidance, anyone can do it.
You can't guess words. You can't look at a word and go, oh, that looks kind of like communication. It's just alien.
Completely.
So how can this author possibly claim it's easy?
It's easy if you know how to approach it. And that's exactly what I teach in my materials. No tricks, no fluff, just practical learning. Too many learners get stuck because they don't have the right strategies. But with the right guidance, Hungarian is totally achievable.
And I hit this concept they call compound words. And I have to admit, it stopped me in my tracks.
The Lego principle.
And now, in English, snowman is also a compound word, so that's not totally unique.
Sure.
But look at how Hungarian does it. You have ho, that means snow.
Right.
You have ember for man or person.
And you just put them together, hóember.
Yeah.
Now, just to make sure we are all on the same page, hóember is a compound word in Hungarian. Hó means snow and ember means man or person. So literally, it's a snow person or snowman. And just so you know, I'm saying hóember exactly as a Hungarian would. The pronunciation is hóember, hóember, with a soft H sound at the beginning and the E like in bed. It's important to get the accents and sounds right, especially with Hungarian's unique vowels.
Karaksony. And the word for tree, fa. You want to say Christmas tree.
It's karaksonifa.
You just snap the bricks together. It felt remarkably logical.
Let me stop here for a second. because pronunciation really matters. The Hungarian word for Christmas is karácsony, and tree is fa. So Christmas tree is karácsonyfa. I'm pronouncing it the correct Hungarian way. Karácsonyfa. Karácsonyfa. With the stress always on the first syllable and clear vowels. Once you hear it said correctly, the logic of the word becomes much easier to recognize. Karácsonyfa.
But does that really make it easier? Or is it just a neat trick for nouns?
Well, it makes it easier for a specific type of brain. Think about it. In English, you often have to learn entirely new roots for related concepts.
Right.
In Hungarian, if you know the base breaks, you can build these really complex structures without actually learning new words.
You learn fewer individual words, but you have to use more logic to assemble them.
It's an architectural language.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see why the easy claim isn't totally fluff. For a certain type of brain, maybe an engineer or a programmer, this is actually easier than the chaos of English.
But you have to be willing to do the building. That's the catch.
Right, you have to be the builder.
And this is usually the moment when something clicks. You start to realize that Hungarian isn't about memorizing endless lists of words. It's about building. You really do have to think like an architect. And if that idea makes you smile, if you like Lego as a kid, or if you enjoy patterns and structure, this is actually good news. As a teacher, this is the part I love watching the most, when learners stop fighting the language and start working with it. You don't need to be a genius or an engineer. You just need the right guidance and the willingness to build step by step. And once that happens, Hungarian stops feeling impossible.
And speaking of building, let's talk about the materials themselves, the sounds. Because looking at the syllables section of the notes, it looked like a literal puzzle.
A visual puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
The source has these exercises where words are broken down into their rhythmic parts. You have fenyu.
And fesu.
Right. Fenyu is a pine tree. Fesu is a comb.
And they had do-go next to do-da.
Do-go, a cork or a plug. And duda, a horn.
Let me slow this down for a moment and say these words clearly, because hearing them correctly makes a big difference. Fenyu means pine tree. Fenyu, fenyu, with a long ö at the end. Fésű means comb. Fésű, fésű, with long vowels. Dugó, cork or plug. Dugó, dugó. And duda, du-da, duda, horn. This is exactly why these exercises exist. Hungarian pronunciation is very consistent, but only if you train your ear to hear syllables and vowel length. Once you do that, the language stops sounding chaotic and starts sounding rhythmic.
The exercises are training your brain to hear that rhythm.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of sounds, I have to bring up the section on... Wait, let me find it. Interlapsivak. Interjections.
Yes.
I actually laughed when I saw this because it's so human. The notes explicitly teach you how to gasp in Hungarian.
It's surprisingly important. I mean, languages aren't just data transfer, they're emotion. You need to know what noise to make.
So you have
Whoa.
for surprise. You have hey, which is basically our hey.
Calling attention.
And then my favorite, who.
Who is a great one. It's for shivering.
It's cold. It grounds the whole process. It reminds you that you're not just conjugating verbs in a vacuum. You're reacting to the world.
And this is where Hungarian really comes alive, through interjections. These are small sounds, but they carry a lot of meaning, and they change with context. Take for example. It can express surprise, joy, disappointment, or impatience. If you are impressed or happy, you might say, milyen remekül táncol. She dances beautifully, or he dances beautifully. If someone shows up unexpectedly and you are happy to see them, de jó, hogy jöttél. De jó, hogy jöttél. And when you are impatient or slightly annoyed, dehogy, like, oh, come on. Now, who is different. It usually expresses a strong physical or emotional reaction, and it's often not positive. When you are cold, you will hear, de fázom, de fázom, brr, I'm freezing. And when something is shocking or unpleasant, ez rettenetes, yikes, that's awful. These sounds may seem small, but they are essential.
And that connection to the physical world is key. Because if you look at the grammar section, which is where most people run away screaming.
Oh, they do.
Sources try to keep it very physical and logical.
Okay, I could buy the Lego analogy for vocabulary. That was the fun part. But then I turned the page to grammar, and that easy feeling started to evaporate pretty quickly.
Let me jump in here and pronounce these verbs clearly, because hearing them correctly makes a huge difference. For the verb enni, to eat, you might see forms like megeszem, I eat it. Megeszed, you eat it. Megeszi, he or she eats it. Remember, the stress in Hungarian is always on the first syllable, and vowels are pronounced clearly.
Right. And megezem as almat.
I eat the apple. Okay, but wait. I have to pause here. This is where I got totally lost. In the vocabulary pile, apple is alma, A-L-M-A.
Correct.
But in the chant, they're saying elmat. Where'd that T come from?
Yes. That's the marker of the accusative case.
The accusative case. Okay, explain that to me like I'm 5. Why do I need a T?
Okay, think about English. If I say, the shark eats the fish, how do you know who's eating who?
Well, the order of the words. Shark first, fish second.
Exactly. If I flip it to the fish eats the shark, the whole meaning changes. That T is a tag you snap onto a word to say, this is the target, this is the thing being acted upon.
So the T is like a little flag saying, I am the victim in this sentence.
Pretty much. I'm the one being eaten. It's marking the object.
Exactly. Let's say it clearly. Megeszem az almát. Megeszem az almát. Megeszem az almát. I eat the apple. Megeszed az almát. Megeszed az almát. Megeszed az almát. You eat the apple. Megeszi az almát. Megeszi az almát. Megeszi az almát. He or she eats the apple. Here, alma is the object, the thing being eaten. And when it's marked as the object, we add the T at the end. So it becomes almát. The last vowel, in this case A, helps make the pronunciation smoother when you add the T. Now, it might feel unusual if you're coming from English or Spanish, but this is how Hungarians naturally do it. Adding T is not optional. It's part of the grammar and tells you clearly what the object is. So remember, alma, almát, whenever it's the thing being acted upon.
And look at the verb itself, megeszem, that ending M. That signals I am the one doing it. Megazized, the ed signals you.
So the word for I and you is baked right into the verb.
It is, which is why you can often drop the pronoun entirely. You don't need to say I eat. You just say megezem, the I is already in there.
That is efficient.